there, Sandra here from Createinspain. Today I'm doing another one of my videos on shortcuts, the lot bytes, and this one is on the effects menu. Now the effects menu is found up here on the top bar, and there are quite a lot of things in that menu, but as you can see most of them are greyed out at the moment because I've got no shapes around. So I better put some shapes on here, and that way some of the menus will turn up. So here we are. Oops, view, that's the effects. So I'm not going to go through all of these and give you demonstrations because, to be honest, most of them need you to just play with them to understand them. They are effects. There are visual effects which create different looks to your project. So 3D extruding makes it look like three-dimensional letters and things like that. So you've got barrel distortion. Again, it makes it look like something is wrapped around a barrel. The bridge warp, that makes things bridge shaped, either with a arch top or with a straight top, an angled top. Bulge, similar to barrel distortion, not quite the same and canned. Drop shadows. Knockout, I've already done a video on, a separate video. Lattice, well, that makes a lattice pattern. And these menus all have previews, so you can see what's going to happen before you apply it. Line fill is useful if you want to do any engraving, or if you need to fill in some fine letters, you might want to use it if you're doing it with a pen. Nesting is fitting shapes together within a rectangle. It isn't the same as Silhouette Studio, which will allow you to draw a irregular shape and fill it with things. This is very basic. Object on path, I have done a separate video on. Piercing is literally making holes. You need a piercing tool to do this, and instead of a blade dragging, it's a needle going up and down like in a sewing machine. Puzzle generator, that literally is generating puzzle pieces, jigsaw puzzle pieces. QR code generates a QR code. I've never used it. I don't have a clue why you'd want to, but I guess some people do. Rhinestones. I have done a separate video on rhinestones. Shadow layer contour cut. I will just click on this one. You have different options. You can increase the shadow layer. This adds an extra layer to your shape. If you go into the path and you add an offset, it takes the original path away. If you use a shadow layer, it adds an extra path. Now you can choose to use outline only, and you can also do more than one layer if you so wish. And you can choose the start color and the end color. So you could go from pink maybe, and end up at black, like that. You can do all sorts of weird and wonderful things with that. And you can have a size variance applied to it as well. So this will make your layers go up in scale along with the number, okay? So you can also do an inset shadow. You can do a blackout, which actually, generally speaking, we'll work on this now, but if you do a blackout, it's generally one outer shape. A print and cut outline, pretty self-explanatory. And to be perfectly honest, I am not sure what the difference is between that and a fabric outline. Maybe it's just a seam allowance. Not used it, so I really can't tell you on that one. So what else have we got? Symmetrical mirror, that's pretty obvious. It will allow you to mirror something. Now tiling, I think, is only available on the Pro version. Title crawl, that gives you an effect similar to the effect you get on movies sometimes, where the titles are very narrow at the top and they're wider at the base. That's what it does to your object. Wave, well, that literally makes something wavy. The weeding, I also think is on the Pro version only. You might want to check if you're particularly interested in that one. And that allows you to very easily apply some nice weeding lines to your vinyl cuts. I'll give you a brief demonstration of that one because it is one that is worth knowing about, and a lot of you might find that useful. So if I type it in, I'm going to make this a lot bigger so that you can see it more easily. Now if I go to the effects and I go to weeding, you get a box around it, and then you get these different styles of weeding lines. So if I choose this is a vertical weeding lines, and I might decide I want to put them here. The advantage of this is if you're doing a large design where you would normally find it quite difficult to take a piece of vinyl, weed it all in one go, because it's going to stick to other things and it's going to create a mess, you can do your weeding in smaller portions. And then if I click on this one, I can do some more horizontal lines. So all these red lines are going to be cut. They're not cutting through the letters, they're cutting through the background and putting a box around it as well. So you click on OK, and this is what you end up with. So that's a really, really useful tool if you're doing a lot of weeding of vinyls and stickers and all that sort of stuff. And the last one, which is greyed out at the moment because I haven't got a selection here, is wrapper. Now this one is useful if you're going to do designs around a cup or a mug or something which is wider at one point than the other, whether it's wider at the top or whether it's a cone, for example. This is what you need to actually do. It's got an auto preview on it like the other ones do, and so you can just play with this and get it to work as you want it to do. So that's it. Those are the effects that are available in Shortcuts a lot.